Welcome to the Maryland PTAC podcast, Assist and Win, where we showcase client success stories and feature procurement experts to help small business owners. I'm your host, Yasmin Razak, and I'm the Marketing and Training Coordinator here at the PTAC. Today's guest is Lakeysha Claxton. She is a CEO of Homeland Custodial Services, which was recently awarded a government contract to provide janitorial services to the Navy in Okinawa, Japan. Lakeysha has won several large contracts over the years and has been a Maryland PTAC client since 2014. She works with her counselor, Richard Paden, on her contracting goals. Thank you for joining us today, Lakeysha.
Thank you, Yasmin. Glad to be here.
Well, first of all, congratulations on this recent win, all the way in Okinawa, Japan. That's interesting and slightly different to what we usually hear about from our clients. Tell us a little bit about how you came to win that.
Yes, well, it started last year. We were looking to expand to international as there were multiple contracts for COVID cleaning, and we were doing a lot of that. So we started out going after some of the larger COVID cleaning contracts. So last year we won a contract for Yokota Air Base that's in Tokyo. So it's geographically separated. It's kind of all over Tokyo, because Tokyo has like 23 districts, and Yokota is, unlike bases in America, they're all there together. So we had multiple locations there. So that kind of kicked off the start of working in Japan.
Okay, so is this the first time that your company is providing services abroad?
This is the second time.
Second time, okay. And will it involve you having to hire local staff over there, or do you take staff from here? And how do you manage that with being all the way in the US?
Well, we're going to hire temp staff there, and then we're going to bring them on to Homeland once we kind of see what what type of talent that they have. So that's the way we've been doing this. We've been hiring, going to temporary staffing agencies to be able to get our staff. And as far as managing it, I do have a manager that's there now on the ground in Tokyo, who's going to be going to Okinawa, and then we're hiring another, well, he's actually the business manager, but we're hiring a project manager that is going to oversee this. And over time, we're going to bring in a person from the staffing company to be able to relieve our project manager that's coming from the United States.
So when do you leave for Okinawa?
I'm going to be leaving in 2 weeks.
Okay, great. Safe travels, and we hope that turns out well. So, okay, let's move on to talk a little bit about your career background and how you got to become a government contractor.
Sure. I was a bus driver for years, and I started a small business prior to Homeland, and I liked the business, but it was just everything was on me, and I got burned out. So I actually went to the Maryland Center for Entrepreneurship, and I took some classes. I also met Mr. Paden around that same time. And I decided after taking those classes, meeting with Mr. Paden, that I didn't want to do the business that I had anymore. I just did not want to do it. I didn't know what I was going to do, how I was going to do it, but I knew I wasn't going to do that business anymore. So I basically dissolved it. And a lot of people advised me that I shouldn't do that. But I thought, I'm burnt out from it. I can't do it anymore. So when I took those classes, I met with Mr. Paden. I got an idea of the way I wanted my company to actually be run. where it could actually work without me physically in it all the time. And so from that, Homeland came into existence. So I began to take more classes there. I met with Mr. Paden on a monthly basis, and we worked on getting government contracts. Actually, in the previous business, I did have government contracts, but I had a lot of recruiting stations, and I was doing a ton of the work myself. So, so pretty much we began to look at other contracts where I would be able to hire people, look at different strategies across the government, because I was mainly working with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in my previous business. And so we looked at different agencies where I could get contracts from. And that was me and Mr. Paden doing that.
Okay, great. So I know that it seems like Richard has been quite instrumental in guiding you. Can you tell us what it's been like to have the use of the PTAC services and to have a counselor to help you like Richard?
Well, it's been a wonderful experience. I feel like it has taught me so much. Mr. Paden is very, very knowledgeable, and I come to him with a lot of different things at a lot of different times. And, he does not, he gives me his opinion about it. And we kind of look at what that would be like, what it would entail. But I mean, I feel like Mr. Paden is, he's just really so great. I mean, I just really appreciate him being my counselor for the last 7 years. And I would suggest other people would definitely utilize PTAC, because the counselors that you work with, they have a lot of their own experience doing contracting, having their own business, things that they've done. And so I think that has been, I know that that's been very helpful to me.
Okay, well, that's great to hear. As usual, we love to hear testimonials about how our clients are getting the help that they need. So thanks for sharing that. Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about Homeland Custodial Services. I know you've won other contracts over the years. Could you mention a couple of the types of different contracts that you've worked on?
When I first started, me and Mr. Paden had an RFP that we looked at, and it was for the Department of Interior. It was the National Park Service. And through Mr. Paden's guidance, we called in, spoke to someone about the contract, and she was really nice, gave us a lot of information. And I went on the site visit, and we came up with a really good numbers, and we won that. That was in less than 6 months in my new business. We had a 5-year, 6-figure contract. And so that was one. And then there were some other things that I had expressed to Mr. Paden that I wanted to do. And they were along, like doing lakes and different things like that, just taking care of parks and stuff like that. So we bid on a lot of things like that were like in Texas, and we weren't able to win those. So I said, well, Mr. Paden, I want to go in a direction of looking at, doing some higher level cleaning. So we bid on this contract for Homeland Security, which was a biohazard cleaning contract that we won in 2017. And so that contract gave us the opportunity to be able to do a different type of cleaning, which involved like bloodborne pathogens and things like that. So we had to get certified to be able to do those things. So we won that. And then we did a lot of different credit card orders for the Park Service. We built up a really good relationship with them. I actually still do things for them. Even though my contract has expired, we're still working with them, doing credit card orders and purchase orders, things like that. And so we went after, like I said, we went after some COVID cleaning as well. And so we won a contract at West Point for COVID cleaning in New York. And we also won a contract for COVID cleaning in Hawaii. And we also won a contract for COVID cleaning in Nevada as well.
You've also expanded from janitorial services as well. You talked about snow removal, carpet cleaning.
Yeah.
So it seems like you like to diversify. Why do you think that's important for a business?
I think that's one of the critical parts, because in the previous business that I had, all I did was janitorial. So when I rebid some of those contracts and I didn't win them, I didn't have anything else in my pipeline. The only thing I had was those. In this new business with the new way to do things, the new concept, that was a big part of, creating a space where we have contracts. They're 5 years, but they may not be everyday contracts, but they bring us revenue on a quarterly basis or even seasonal revenue, which is important to your overall revenue goal.
Okay, well, that's great. Thanks for breaking that down for us. All right, so what do you wish you had known at the start of your contracting career?
One thing that I wish I've known was I needed a ton of information that I didn't have. So I needed to have a counselor like Mr. Paden. I needed to take classes on government contracting like I did at the MCA. Well, I feel like I just needed just education on how government contracting worked.
Okay, great. Well, I hope we've been able to help you provide some of that information over the years. And so what's in the future for Homeland Custodial Services?
Homeland is now moving into being an import and export company. We want to import and export paper products. So this is actually something new that we're just starting on. And right now we're procuring like 20,000 rolls of toilet paper for the contract. But this is also going to allow us to be able to be in the space of providing paper products and getting government contracts for that. So that's the next thing that me and Mr. Paden will be working on, is Homeland becoming a supplier for the government.
Okay, well, that's great and exciting for your future.
Yeah.
So from a bus driver to an incredibly successful government contractor, I personally want to just say that you're an inspiration to me. You're an inspiration to other business owners as well. And I just want to wish you continued success. Thank you, Lakeysha.
Thank you so much, Yasmin. It was a pleasure.